Hello and welcome to this video delivered by the University of Reading, all about student finance for full-time UK undergraduates who will be coming to university in 2024. In this video, you'll find out about the student finance package, so what's available, extra funding that's available, the support that we have here at the University of Reading, how to apply for student finance, how the repayment system works, Blackbullion, what to do and when, and then there are some useful links. Let's have a look at what's available. There are two main costs when you come to university. The first one will be the tuition fee, the cost of your course per year. You can apply for a loan from student finance called the tuition fee loan. The second set of costs you will have will be your living costs, so things like accommodation, food, travel, social life, and you can apply for another loan from student finance called the maintenance loan. You may also want to look into any extra funding available, getting a part-time job at university, any scholarships and bursaries you may be eligible for, and support from your caregivers. Tuition fees for 2024-25 entry are £9,250. You do not have to pay any tuition fees up front if you're eligible for student finance. A tuition fee loan does not depend on household income. Student finance pay the tuition fee loan directly to the university, so you're not going to have £9,250 in your bank account. And the loan is repayable, but only when your income is over £25,000 a year, and we'll look at repayments later on. The maintenance loan works a little bit differently. The amount you will receive depends on where you live and study and your assessed household income. In 2024, a maximum maintenance loan of £10,227 is available. The maintenance loan is paid directly into your bank account, so budgeting is really important, and the loan is also repayable, so it is lumped together with the tuition fee loan when your income is over £25,000 a year. These are the maximum maintenance loan amounts available. The higher the household income, the less support you will be eligible for, but everybody is entitled to something. So the minimum amount is around £4,500. If the household income is £25,000 and under, that's when you would receive the maximum. If you live with parents, you get a little bit less than somebody who studies outside of London and isn't living with parents, so they move away, live in student accommodation. If you study in London and not living with parents, you get a chunk more because London is so expensive to live in. And if you live and study abroad for at least one term as part of your UK-based course, you get a different amount there as well. Pop on to the student finance calculator, you can input your details and it will give you the estimates of what you're entitled to. As we saw on the previous slide, household income is usually a student's parent's income. You can be assessed as an independent if you fit into any of these categories, so you're 25 or over before the start of the academic year, you're married, divorced or in a civil partnership, you have care of a person under the age of 18, you have no living parents, have no contact with or are estranged from your parents, you are a care leaver or looked after by a local authority, you cannot trace your parents or it is not practical or possible to contact them, and you've supported yourself financially for at least 3 years before the start of your course. Here's an example of the maintenance loan. This student, they live with their family, they won't be living with parents and they'll be studying outside of London. So they're coming to the University of Reading. The household income here is £70,000. They will get a maintenance loan amount of £4,767. In this next example, this student lives with just one parent, they're not living with parents and they'll be studying outside of London. So again, they're coming to the University of Reading. The household income here is lower than the previous example, so it's £28,000. So this student will get more maintenance loan, so they will get £9,789. In this final example, this student is an independent student, so they fit into one of those categories to be assessed as an independent student. Again, they'll be coming to the University of Reading, won't be living with parents and be studying outside of London. The household income here will be £0, so this student will get the full maintenance loan amount available of £10,227. Hopefully from those examples you can see how that maintenance loan amount will differ, and you can see which example you relate to a little bit more. The payment process for the tuition fee loan, as mentioned earlier, that money is paid directly to the institution when you enrol. You will never see the tuition fee loan money. The maintenance loan and any grants, bursaries or scholarships you apply for are paid directly to you. So as I say, budgeting is really important. The maintenance loan is paid in 3 large lump sums throughout the year. So the first when you enrol around September, October, the next after Christmas, and then the next usually around Easter. So it's up to you to work out how many weeks it is between payments and divide the lump sum by the amount of weeks so that you know how much you have to budget per week. There is extra funding available as well, so let's have a look at that. There's non-repayable support if you have a children or an adult who is dependent on you. If you have a disability, long-term health condition, mental health condition, or specific learning difficulty, you can apply for the Disabled Students Allowance. If you study overseas as part of your UK-based course, or if you undertake a medical or dental clinical placement, there's additional cash available for you. There are bursaries for certain professions, so some teacher training subjects, some NHS courses, and for social work. And if you're leaving local authority care, chase up your key worker or your skills worker, your support worker, for information about the higher education bursary, which is usually £2,000. Scholarships and bursaries are free money. This is money that you don't have to repay, and they could be granted on a variety of criteria and awarded by different bodies. So it's not just universities that have these, there are charities and businesses out there. So have a little Google search, see what's available. They could be granted because of academic achievement. Perhaps you're going to do really well in your level 3 qualifications. They could be subject specific. So quite often we hear of music scholarships, sports scholarships. If your household income is quite low, that usually entitles you to a bursary, and certain professions, as we saw on the previous slide. Universities offer different awards and schemes, so it could be money off accommodation, it could be a reduction in tuition fees either for 1 year or the duration of your course, cash awards, a combination, vouchers to spend in the restaurants, the catering outlets on site. There's a whole range of different scholarships and bursaries available, so do have a look at university websites and also having a look online and seeing what charities and businesses have to offer as well. Let's have a look at the financial support offered by the University of Reading. Our main bursary is the Reading Bursary, and students who meet the eligibility criteria will be awarded a cash bursary of £1,100 per year of eligibility. It's awarded to students with a household income of less than £27,000 and have a home address recorded on their RISIS student record that falls within Polar 4 or Tundra Quintile 1 or 2 or IMD Quintile 1 or 2. On your main student finance application, there will be a box for you to tick at the bottom that gives your consent to share your household income information with third parties. If we can see your household income information and we see that it is less than £27,000 and that you fit into one of those postcode areas, we will automatically give you this bursary. We do have a range of other bursaries as well. So we have bursaries for care experience students or students who are estranged. We have work and study placement bursaries, a digital support fund, a commuter travel bursary, and we also have a bursary for students with a disability who are studying a course involving theatre, arts or history. We also have other bursaries such as our Ewan Page Prize Bursary, which gives students vouchers so that they can use those for books. We have a pre-entry travel bursary for students to come and visit us, and a pre-application bursary for disabled students who need to make a visit to the university in regards to their disability. You can take a look at our website to see what scholarships we have available as well. It's also a good idea to get a part-time job at university. It will help build up your confidence and it will build up the skills that you can put on your CV and talk about in job interviews once you graduate. You can find out about jobs at student job fairs. If your course is already quite demanding, perhaps you're on placement, you might just want to get a summer or holiday job. You will also have the chance to work for your university, so you could work as a student ambassador helping out at open days or when schools come to visit. And you could also work for the Students' Union. Do find the balance and prioritise your university work. If you are working loads of hours because of financial reasons, speak to your university and see what support they have available. How do you apply for student finance? If you're coming to university this year for 2024-25 entry, applications for student finance are open now. The deadline is Friday, the 17th of May. You will need to have ready your valid UK passport details or a birth or adoption certificate or other identity and residency evidence documents, your national insurance number, your UK bank account details, and university and course details. Now, this bit's important. You do not need a confirmed place at university to apply for student finance. Just use your preferred choice. So if you've applied for 5 universities, just use your favourite out of those and you can just update that bit later on. It's easy to apply online. It only takes around 30 minutes and you apply at www.gov.uk/student-finance. For parents that are supporting an application, once your child has applied for student finance, you will be emailed a link within 24 hours to create an online account, and that's where you provide information about your income from the previous tax year. So that would be 2022 to 23. If your income this tax year will be at least 15% less, you can give your income details for the current tax year instead. You will need your national insurance numbers, details of your household's taxable income, your personal taxable income, and details of other child dependents. HMRC will check all of that information and they may ask for evidence of your income if it doesn't match their records and of your marital status. Do apply early, so if you are coming to university this year, applications are open now, as I've said. Each year, thousands of students apply late, and this means that you don't have the full amount of money that's available to you ready for when you start your course. It takes at least 6 weeks to process your application. You apply online at gov.uk/student-finance. You do not need a confirmed place at university to apply. You apply with your first choice, and you can change those details later on if you need to. Make sure any evidence and information needed to support your application is supplied right first time, and read, understand and agree to the loan terms and conditions. Let's have a look at repayments. The repayment system you will be on is Plan 5. Repayments start from April after graduating or leaving university. So you graduate in the summer, you get a year's tax grace, and if by that next April your income is over £25,000 a year, you will start to pay a small amount back. You repay 9% of your income above that threshold. Deductions are made from your pay through the HMRC tax system, so through your payslip. If your income falls below the threshold for any reason, those repayments will stop. Any outstanding loan balance is written off 40 years after entering repayment. So what does this look like? The higher your salary above the threshold, the higher those monthly repayments. Let's have a look at the example at the bottom. If your income is £28,000 a year, 9% will be deducted from £3,000 because that's the difference between the threshold and your salary, and your monthly repayment works out to around £22.50 per month. That is really small compared to the other deductions that will be made from your payslip for things like your pension, national insurance. If you would like to look at repayments in more detail, you can go to slc.co.uk/repayment. So what's Blackbullion? Blackbullion have a Money Ready for Uni course. There's short videos on there, quizzes and tools to help you prepare financially for university life. It covers everything from student funding and the cost of living on campus to estimating your loan repayments and planning for the future. There's also a parent's guide on there as well. It's completely free to use. Do check it out. What to do and when. Make sure you take a look at the Money Ready for Uni course. Apply to your Student Finance Authority as early as possible. So as I've said, applications are open now. Prepare your information and documentation required for your student finance application in advance. So having a look for your passport, your national insurance number. Check with the department you'll be studying with to see if they have any bursaries or scholarships. Have a look at our Money Matters page, and there's help on there for managing your money costs and budgets. Your loan from Student Finance may not be available on day one of your course because it's triggered by enrolment, so it may take a few working days to make its way into your bank account. So please ensure that you have sufficient funds just to cover that first week or so. To recap, it's important to make the right university and course choice. You get the length of your course plus 1 year minus previous years of study. So if you start somewhere and you've studied for a few years and you decide, actually, this isn't for me, I want to do a different course, you've already used up some of your fund entitlement. Tuition fee loans are available to all eligible students, and that covers the full cost of your course per year. To find out if you're eligible, pop to the Student Finance website. Future repayments are linked to your income, not what is owed. If student A borrowed £50,000, student B borrowed £30,000, they both leave university at the same time and they're earning the same amount, their monthly repayments will be exactly the same. Research all finance available, especially those bursaries and scholarships. That's free cash. There are lots of pots of money that go unspent every year, so see what's available. Apply online and on time. There is no need to wait for a confirmed place. Apply for your student finance now, and you can update any of your details later on. Check all details are correct before you submit your application. You're asking for money from the public purse, so just double check everything on there. And you also want your money to go to the right place, so check in your bank account details, for example. Here are a few useful links. All of the information I've covered is on the Gov website. This is where you will also apply for student finance. So it's gov.uk/student-finance. This is what the student finance calculator page looks like, so you know you've gone to the right place. You can input your details in there and it will give you your student finance estimate. It's also a good idea to follow Student Finance England on social media. They will post reminders on there, they break down the information. You can also contact them through there as well. They also have a YouTube channel. So again, the information for student finance is at gov.uk/student-finance. The student room is also really handy. The UCAS website has some great information about student finance and support as well. We have virtual events, we have subject taster days if you'd like to take a look at those. You can email our student funding team at studentfunding@reading.ac.uk if you have any questions specific to the University of Reading. Thank you for listening.